Multiple hospitals across the nation, they have paused now gender-affirming care for minors, and that's because of an executive order by President Trump.
The order restricts access and cuts federal funding for such care. Today, New York's Brittany Miller spoke with rights groups concerned about the change.
Getting gender-affirming care in New York may have just gotten a little harder for young people.
We have gotten messages from dozens of trans patients at both NYU Langone and Mount Sinai to say that their appointments for gender-affirming care have been canceled.
Meanwhile,
the first rule against tyranny is you do not obey in advance. And the fact of the matter is that an executive administrative action is not the law of the land. And it sure as hell isn't the law in New York City or New York State. So we are clear in our demands. NYU, and we're not leaving anybody out, Mount Sinai, New York Presbyterian, and any other hospital that is thinking about denying and abandoning their oath to do no harm. Understand that by leaving your trans patients without care, that is the definition of harm.
Regardless of the availability of federal funding, we write to further remind you of your obligation to comply with New York state law. So it sounds like she's picking and choosing which federal laws to comply with here. What do you think about this, Riley?
Yeah, I think your analysis is correct. When you have an attorney general tell her entire state to not comply with federal law, she is no longer acting as an attorney general. Let's call it what it is. She is an activist at that point, which I don't think this comes as a surprise, considering how she treated President Trump and other issues, of course, over her tenure. But this just shows me that November 5th taught the Democratic Party nothing. The majority of Americans wholeheartedly do not support the gender transitioning of minors. That was made very, very clear at the ballot box. So to continue on with this messaging, to continue to quite honestly, in this case, violate federal law, I believe it shows either their ignorance, maybe their apathy, maybe fighting for a system that rewards those who move to tear it down. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's clear nonetheless that November 5th taught the Democratic Party nothing.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the Democrats and the woke activists having a full-blown freak out, protesting in the street, panicking over this executive order that President Trump signed on January 28th to restrict so-called gender-affirming medical treatments and care for minors. Now, this executive order is designed to restrict funding for hospitals or medical providers or institutions that offer gender-affirming treatment such as puberty blockers and hormone therapies and surgeries to minors. So essentially, if you are a hospital and you are offering so-called gender-affirming care to children, then you are in danger of losing federal funding. And this has caused the woke activists to get upset and to start protesting in the streets of New York over these hospitals deciding that, hey, you know what? We are going to step back from providing gender-affirming care. We want to keep that federal money flowing in. And the woke activists, they're very upset about this. Take a look.
Shut this entire city down. Not on our watch. Because what they will try to do, they will try to separate us. They will kick the trans people off the bus. They're kicking the indigenous people off the bus. They're kicking our intersex community off the bus. Our two-sphere plus family, they're kicking them off the bus. They just want a membership LGBT bus. Well, guess what, babe? That LGBT bus, it's not going to have any gas. It won't have any tires. Y'all not going any far. Because we are a community that is made and has been woven with the fire and the spirit of revolution. Revolution! Revolution! So the people that are not here with us, we will take note. It's not that cold.
Shame on you! When trans kids are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When trans kids are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back!
Say, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Say, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Say, what do we do?
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. The activists are upset, okay, because there was some hospitals in New York City that decided to cancel so-called gender-affirming care for some minors, and these activists got really mad about it, and now they're protesting in the streets, okay, over kids being able to undergo gender-affirming care. Again, it's a pretty interesting world that we live in here. So with that being said, you have Letitia James, the Attorney General for New York, coming out and basically telling these hospitals not to comply with President Trump's executive order. This is what she's saying. And I think it's time for Miss Letitia James to be investigated by Miss Pam Bondi, right? That's what it's time for. It's time for one of these Democrats to be made an example out of. And I think Letitia James would be the perfect individual if this is the type of game that she wants to play. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Well, some hospitals and health systems across the country are pausing gender-affirming care for young people, and there are reports that one hospital system in the city is among them.
All right, it's all in the wake of an executive order signed by the president, and tonight in Murray Hill, those in opposition to the order rallied. Fox 5's Sharon Crowley has more.
Advocates for transgender rights demonstrating against NYU Langone Health in Murray Hill. Protesters say the hospital is now denying children gender-affirming care following President Trump's executive order aimed at curtailing federal funding for such treatments.
Trans children need health care. They need to have access to health care, both mental and medical, that they need to survive.
Hundreds of trans rights supporters marching down First Avenue in front of the hospital. Only a handful of demonstrators opposing them showed up with signs.
This is going to kill people. This is a matter of life and death. I know it was my experience as a teenager. It's the experience of so many.
New York Attorney General Letitia James also reacting. She sent this letter telling hospitals that they would be violating state law if they stop offering gender-affirming care for people under 19 in response to President Trump's executive order. NYU Langone told me they have no comment on the Attorney General's letter.
Law versus executive order. The law should win. The problem here is it's the power of the purse. And the hospitals may say, all right, wait a minute. Where's our bigger problem? Not getting the money or breaking the law?
You can see this is an emotional issue for families and for voters across this country. Look for the next fight in this battle to be waged in the courtroom. Sharon Crowley, Fox 5.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad situation for a hospital to be placed in, where it's like, okay, do I want to violate state law or do I want to risk not receiving federal funds? Letitia James, again, it's time for her to be investigated. Pam Bondi, it's time to investigate Letitia James, okay? It's time to give her a taste of her own medicine, because this woman is trying to stand in between the president and the agenda that the American people voted for. That's the thing that really blows my mind about these Democrats. They are aligning with an agenda that the American people do not agree with. I mean, they want open borders. They want to protect illegal immigrant criminals. They want to force hospitals to perform gender-affirming care on children. That's what they want to do. These are all things that the American people voted against. They voted against it overwhelmingly. One of the main reasons why the Democrats lost, but they're doubling, tripling down on it. And this is why I say there's really no hope for the Democrats at this point. There's no hope because they've shown that they don't want to abandon the far left. They don't want to. So it seems as if they've chosen their path. They had an opportunity after the election to reevaluate, what do you want to do? Do we want to be aligned with a social movement that is extremely unpopular? Or do we want to get back to being the party of common sense and, you know, being at least somewhat reasonable on economic issues, right? But no. They've just chosen, no, we're gonna get in bed with, you know, the far left and their agenda, and that's it, right? That's what they're gonna do. And if this is the direction that party is headed in, I just don't see how they can win. I really don't. Letitia James may think that this move from her is cute, right? It's a little cute move from her to try to force these hospitals to defy President Trump's orders. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think she's going to lose this battle. right? She's going to lose this battle. And I can't wait until she finally faces some accountability for the lawfare that she has conducted against President Trump and also against the American people as well, too, right? That's essentially what's going on here. Letitia James, I really think that once this Trump administration gets going, she's going to have a hard time. She's going to have a really difficult time. Okay. And she's already showing us that she's going to be a pain in the side to the president with moves like this. But hey, I guess the good news is that she's showing us once again what Democrats believe in, what they're prioritizing, right? That's what she's showing us. That's exactly what she's showing us. And the American people can decide for themselves. They can decide for themselves. I just don't think this is going to work out well for them. They are already more unpopular than they've ever been in a long time. And the fact that they, again, are continuing to double and triple down on this is, to me, it really is a head scratcher. But these are the battles that they want to fight. And if that's the case, I just really don't think it's going to work out well in the long run. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.